So now we are receiving our data into quotes.text via props. So let's just put up our props. Now we know that we are receiving only two sets of parameters. One is going to be quote and other is color. So let's just put up our quote and destructure this, and let me get rid of that extra bracket. Now after that we'll be having a span. So let's just make a span, and the span is going to contain our quote and give it an ID of text, and the span inside the curly braces will be having our quote. Now let's just give this div a class name of quote text. Now apart from having class name, it will also be having a style, and this is going to be a victim of inline style too. So suppose if I like to have an inline style property and I give this width 100. So in inline styling we need to have two sets of curly braces, and since we are also receiving our colors from our quotes.jsx, as you might recall, therefore we'll be even destructuring it. So as you might see that we are even sending it our colors that is present in our state. So head to back to quote.text.jsx and destructure color as well, and replace that with color, and the property that color is going to have is again our color. Okay, so we have added everything in our quotes text. Now hit save. So we have configured our quotes text and everything is fine. If we just take a look into our code editor, by the way, if you're seeing these buttons and quotes author and all that, it's merely warning. This is nothing something serious. We'll be attending to it later. So now if we see our browser, we see that we have our text and that is in color orange. And now it's time to configure our next component, that is our quotes author. So to do that, just head back into your code editor. Let me just zoom it so that you can see it clearly. Okay, so we see our quote text as well as a quote author. Now let's head back into our quote author, and this time we are receiving data via props, and the things are similar, but here we are receiving our author and a color. So here we have our props. So let's just destructure it to author as well as color and remove this paragraph element. Now we are again going to have a span with an ID author. Now close this, and inside the span you're going to have the name of the author. Now this div is going to contain a class name, and that is going to be equal to quote author. Alright, so we have this, and this too would be inline styled, and style is going to be color equals to color. Things are very similar with the quotes text. Now what if I do not destructure this? What if I just thought that let's just leave it to props? And if I would have done that, then with every entry I would have to leave it like props.author, and the cases would have been similar with color. We would have to write it as like props.color. So we are having two components, right? The quotes text in which we are destructuring data, and the quotes author in which we are not destructuring data. So you can see they are working pretty much similar. So we see our color of our text as well as our author are same. So now we have received the data via props through quotes.jsx, and we have destructured the data into our quotes.text as well as our quotes author. So now our task is complete. Now let's move forward.